Hi, everyone. My name is Eric Meyer. I'm the Chief Instructor for the NASA Great Lakes region. Welcome. Hey, on behalf of all of us here at NASA Great Lakes and the HPD program and your group leader, John Santiago, who also will be doing your classroom, I want to welcome you to the program, and we're looking forward to having you. The purpose of this video should be about 15 minutes long, give or take, is to give you some sort of initial information about how to get into the facility, where to park, some of the rules and the conventions of being around in a track. It's basically meant to make your first experience very comfortable and get you in and going. So we get you in front of John into the classroom, out on the track, and have some fun. Let's get started. So this is one of my favorite tracks. NCM Motorsports Park. I used to have I used to be a professional racer, and I've been all over the North America to a ton of tracks. I love to instruct, love my job, do this as a volunteer effort, about once a month, as does John, who's a professional college professor, and he's fantastic. He's an odd driver too. He's a fantastic driver, champion. We enjoy this stuff, and this track for both of us is absolutely wonderful. It is one of the best learning tracks in the United States. Has a ton of variety. It's got fast, it's got slow, it's got tight. It's wonderful, and we're going to talk about it in a little bit. But first, I'm just going to give you some basic information that will hopefully help you understand and see what happens when you get to the track for Saturday for early registration, which I highly recommend. Or you can arrive Sunday, but I really recommend getting there Saturday, and John will send you some more information via email. Both of us will, but your primary contact is John. Okay, so as you can see here with the map, this is right across from the wonderful Corvette manufacturing plant and the museum. And what I like to show everybody right here is just kind of some infrastructure support. I'm going to grab a color here. Right here is a McDonald's and a Starbucks. Actually, that's the McDonald's. The Starbucks is right here, and 2 gas stations. If you could kindly arrive and have a full tank of gas, that would be great. It's a great place to do that right there, and it's also inexpensive because the pumps, the gas pumps at the track are about $1 more a gallon. And by the way, we will not be going driving so much that you go through more than a tank full of gas, and there's no special gas needed. There's nothing special that you'll need. The Supra is wonderful. All you got to do is show up with a helmet and a great attitude, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Okay, I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and we're going to get you right to the track, show you where to park, and a few other things. This is the track right here, by the way. So what you're going to do, please and thank you, is you're going to enter the track. I'm going to use a black marker for this as well. You're going to enter the track right here. It's got a little sign, but sometimes people zip right by it. Just know that when you come underneath this bridge right here, it's your first left-hand turn. You can't miss it. Once you get into the facility or come in, there is a normal process, and it's really all tracks do this. It's a liability waiver signing where you get a wristband. There's no special test required to do this. You don't have to show your driver's license. Basically, everybody in your vehicle will need to do that. And by the way, you can, I'll talk about this in a little bit, but you can bring friends and family if you like. We have I'll tell you about that program in a second. We have a fun thing to do for your spouse, loved one, child, coworker, dad, mom, etc. Okay, you're going to come right in here. On and about here, right here, as we bear to the left, is a guard shack, and that guard was going to come out with a clipboard. And he's going to give you a clipboard and a pen, and you're going to write your name, and you're going to sign, and you're going to get a wristband. You need to only do that one time. When you come on Saturday for early registration, please keep that wristband on, because when you come back Sunday morning, you just show your wristband when you drive up to the guard shack. We'll just do it like this. Say, hey, look, and he'll wave because he knows what you're doing, and you'll pull right in. Okay, we're going to zoom in a little bit more, please. And I apologize, my software is not super fast. Okay. Welcome to the track. That was a brief orientation and tell you what you're looking at here. So as we just noted, we came in on or about right here at the guard shack. I'd like to show you a couple things. This is the gas pumps that I referred to. They're a little more expensive. Here's a go-karting track, by the way. Here's a big, long area of garages, including this one right here on the end that we call NASA Central. NASA Central is where you can go to buy numbers, t-shirts, lost and found, get information, register for a new event, Q&A. There's hot coffee there's too. You're welcome to go there. By the way, masks are required when you're out in public and inside in the classroom. So when you're in public around people, inside of 6 feet, a mask is required, and also indoors in the classroom. And that classroom that you'll be in is in this building. It's called the Holly Building, and that is the sponsor of the building. There's the big word Holly, Holley, I believe it is, right on the front of this building. And the classroom is back here on the first floor. It's also by the bathrooms. They're the nicest bathrooms in the facility. If you need to hang out, you can go right in there. Oh, by the way, on the top of this building is on the outside, you can kind of see it right here, is a wonderful elevated viewing deck that you can overlook and watch the races and see the cars go on track, things like that. There's also a mezzanine on this side of the garages that allows you to do that as well. And you're welcome to do that anytime you're not in class or on track. Okay, let's continue. The format that you're going to use is a combination of wonderful education in the class, and that will be presented by Dr. John Santiago. He's a college professor and also a driver. He's a very good driver. He's an excellent classroom teacher of high performance driving education. He's got some awards and he's quite frankly nationally recognized, but he'll never talk about it. He's very humble. Again, we'll be doing that in here. But here's what you want to need to know right here. And I'm going to use this with red. And it's sort of it's where to park and where not to park. And the reason why this is important is because there's a lot of cars moving around, kind of a systematic way. There's a system, and I'm going to show you that now. And it's important that you just don't park anywhere, because invariably you're blocking something, you're parking in somebody's space. There's a rhyme and reason to parking, and we're going to go over that now. Okay, so we're going to use the color red, and remember we're coming in right here. There's an area right here that all the RVs park in. They pay for that parking, and the reason why it's red is because it's no parking. And the reason why they pay for it is there's electrical hookups right there that they hook up their RVs to and watch TV and run air conditioning and heating and pop popcorn and all that stuff. So don't park there. All these things I'm going to show you are red, don't park there. Actually, let's do this right now. Let's show you where you're going to park so you understand. We've carved out a special area just for you. There's 14 of you with various experience. Some people have been on track. Most people have not been on track before, the ones I've contacted so far. And you're going to, let me undo this. Please either back in or pull in forwards, and be tight enough that you're not hogging all the space, but be wide enough that you leave yourself some room so when the doors swing open, you don't hit anyone. And there'll be 14 spaces right there. I will meet you there at 4 p.m. Central on Saturday for early registration. If you'd like to come earlier, you're welcome to. Just remember to park there and walk around, and don't park in the places that I'm about to show you. We'll also meet there on Sunday morning. So early registration right there. I will meet you. Look for this ugly mug. And Sunday morning, I'll meet you there as well. Okay, so we're going to do some red stuff. Again, green is where to park and walk, and red is where not to park. So this might make a little bit this might help you understand some things in here. So in and about here are places that racers and drivers just like you will be parking. We've got all you guys together because we found that works out really well. There's some spots over here. There's some spots right in here and down here. And again, red is, and some lanes in between for driving in between. So it's very easy to see and understand. One of them is I'm going to show you in a second. So all these places, and you can walk around and look at cars if you want to come early Saturday. There's all kind of variety. There's from full on really cool race cars to I just bought this off the showroom, to here's a car I bought when I was in high school in 1985. there's everything under the rainbow, all makes and models, and everyone's really friendly. So if you want to talk to them, ask them about their car, they will engage you. We got a good group of folks. Okay. So here are all the no parking spots. I'm going to switch colors right now into black, and I'm going to show you something very interesting. Now, all of this was called the paddock. Everything that we noted right around in here is called the paddock, P-A-D-D-O-C-K. That is not the track and is not the pits. So we're going to talk about the paddock a little bit. In the paddock, there is a 5-mile-an-hour speed limit because there's a lot of people in race cars with helmets. Some of them have the Hans device that doesn't allow you to turn your head a little bit. Some of the cars are very, very loud. Some of them are quiet. You want to be heads up when you walk around, and the paddock has a mile-per-hour speed limit of 5 miles per hour. So this black area right here is called grid. And you're going to learn about this at early registration. And John Santiago is going to walk you through everything I'm sharing right now. I'm giving you a little information because we find that first timers to the track like knowing this, especially folks that have a lot of questions. So that's what this short video is for. Grid is where people stage prior to going on track. In other words, we have a schedule, and when it's your turn to go on track, which is noted on the schedule, you'll arrive to grid about 10 minutes early. And at some point, there is a grid marshal that will marshal everyone onto the track. Then the grid will be empty, and the next folks will come on for the next session. The format will be something like you'll do a combination of classroom, and then you'll be on track. Classroom and track. Classroom and track. You'll be learning and applying, talking about it, going back, learning some other things in a wonderful lead follow format. And the grid is where you'll meet your instructor. So your weekend on Sunday is going to look something like this. We're in here diagonally, and let's say that's your instructor's car, and you'll meet your instructor. And there's your car and and another car. So it's lead follow, lead instructor, professional instructor's been trained in this. Follow number 1, follow number 2. And you guys will take turns swapping. You actually do that on track, and you'll do that when you roll out on track, when you come off track. So we'll move you around, we'll get some passing, we'll have a lot of fun. So that's the grid. And by the way, when the grid marshal, who has a whistle, like he's got funny pants too. His name's Paul. He's got these crazy clown pants. You'll see him when you get there. You'll know what I'm talking about. But he has this whistle like a football coach. And when he blows the whistle and he looks at you, he's requesting you to do something. And that probably for your instructor who's in this slot right here is to go on track. And that flow will go just like this, really slow, 5 miles an hour. You're going to turn left into pit lane. You'll be following, right? Lead, follow, follow. You'll be the first follow or the second follow. We'll mix it up. Kind of doesn't matter. If you want to be first every time, that's okay too, but we'll switch around track. And you'll slowly accelerate following your instructor, and you'll get some more guidance from your instructor, but more importantly, you'll get specific guidance from John Santiago, your classroom instructor. So that's how you got on track. Excuse me, that's how you get on track. That's the grid. That's the green is where you're parking. Really, everything you need to know about arriving Saturday early is right there. If you can't make it Saturday, please arrive early on Sunday. John Santiago, his email is johnsantiago@nasagreatlakes.com. Look for that. I've sent you email just about an hour ago. I'm going to follow up with this and follow up with a phone call to make sure we're getting a hold of you folks. We're going to find out, A, are you still going to make it? B, do you have a helmet? And some other things that we'll talk about in a second. Okay, we're almost done. Probably going over because I get talkative. I apologize. Love this sport. So let's super quickly. That's S-U-P-E-R. I know it's kind of a funny word, right? Supra and super. So this is a wonderful NCM track. Absolutely love it. Super great for learning. And we're going to be doing some laps on here. Everyone always asked, first question always asked, how fast do you go? How fast do you go? Well, you get to determine that. And in a lead follow format, it's somewhat governed because we're doing education. We'll be doing a series of drills. You'll be doing some passing. We'll be doing some maneuvers with cones. You'll be following your instructor, and there's a lot more information that is absorbed in the classroom that you'll be actually applying in track, on the track. Won't talk about that right now because that's rather lengthy, but I would like to say that this track is wonderful. It is a clockwise track, and you can imagine it's almost 40 feet wide. I think this one's 36. I apologize for not knowing that. And there's a series of tight bends and sweepers and strong braking zones and really tight corner. This is turn 10. It's really tight. This corner right here is called Patience. This is a big, long straightaway. I wouldn't be surprised if you get your car up to, maybe close to 100 miles an hour at the end of the weekend, maybe even faster through this area. It's a sharp turn. Now we're going to run this configuration right here. You can see there's several places to go. They'll be coned off and easy to see. And when we're done after your session of 20 minutes or so, 20 to 25 minutes, you'll come off the track right here, and then you'll drive back through here. You'll follow some nice protocol. You'll go here, and you'll park in that green spot that was right here. So your weekend will be a series of doing that after doing several laps and lead follow, going to classroom, coming back to your car, having a little break. And that's kind of the format. If you'd like to arrive early, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. That you're very welcome to do. That's early on Saturday. You can come Saturday early morning if you want. If you're a if you're a big time car nut, you're welcome to come walk around and check things out and watch the races and watch the driving. You can even hang out in the classroom if you want. We're all about education, and you're very welcome. Now, I want to show you something with that right now, and that's the place that people normally watch is this mezzanine area. And you'll go, upstairs, and there's a door that you go through right here, and you go upstairs on the second floor, actually the third floor. And there's a great viewing deck. And there's also right here, if you like, again, arrive early, there's a second story mezzanine that's outside, and you can view the track from here. Either one of those is a good thing as you're walking around. There's also usually a food truck right here with Chinese food. Great teriyaki, and their yum yum sauce is to die for. Again, bathrooms and classroom are in this Holly building right here. That NASA information, or what we call NASA Central, is right there. And again, your parking will be right here. And I'll be there at 4 o'clock sharp for early registration, and on Saturday morning to greet you. So look for this ugly mug. Last but not least, we got a couple of questions. And I sent you an email earlier with these, but I forgot one. I apologize. And that's the color of your car. We need to know some information from you, and I'll be reaching out to you via phone. So look for 317 area code. Also look for my email, ericmeyer@nasagreatlakes.com, and John Santiago's email, johnsantiago@nasagreatlakes.com, because he's going to give you a lot of information, including the schedule. He's going to drive you to some resources. There's something called tech. He's going to explain that. But here's what we need to know, and I'll be calling you to ask about, do you have a helmet? There's a special kind of helmet. I just sent you an email, and we want to confirm that you have this helmet. This is the number one question that people have, and the one that they're usually scrambling for last minute. Check your email I just sent to you on Wednesday at about 6 p.m. Central. We're going to ask you your car color. We're going to ask you about your experience, and those answers to that sounds like, I've never been on track, which is totally okay. It's great. That's the majority of the super folks that are like this. Or you're going to say, wow, I've done this 5 or 6 times at this track and this track and this track. That's all we're looking for. Not a very extensive resume other than, have you done this before? Maybe you've autocrossed, by the way, if you know what that was. Or maybe you used to round race in an old late model NASCAR. The other thing we are going to talk about, or you'll need to know, is passengers. Now, our program sadly does not allow for passengers, but we made an exception. At lunchtime, we'll be going at a governed speed on the track, and we have some interesting activities for you that allow you to take a passenger. It just so happens that we'll be going a slower speed, which means you don't need a passenger helmet. So you don't need to buy an additional helmet to have it set around. So if your spouse, your dad, your coworker, your brother-in-law, son, etc., want to join us, please have them join, and they don't need a helmet. But they do need a wristband, and we'll tell you about that Saturday at early registrations. If you got somebody, bring them along, and I'll try to personally give them a ride in a high performance car, possibly a Supra. We'll get them some laps, have them we try really hard to do that, but I can't promise anything. Everybody brings a spouse and then a bus full of family. I don't think I can do it all, but we'll do our best. The very last thing is we'll be reaching out for any questions that you have. If you're a detail-oriented person that asks a lot of questions, that's why I'm reaching out prior to. You can reach John or I, or call me or text me. I'll be happy to answer anything that you have. That's really the whole purpose of this email. This video. We're reaching out to prepare you for what Saturday early registration looks like, and for what Sunday, the actual day of, looks like. Last but not least, and this is the fun part. John told me I couldn't tell you this, but I'm going to tell you anyway, because I can't help myself. This program has a finale at the end of the day, that when you follow the education and we do the drills and you practice the information that John will share in class, the next to the last session of the day, you have the opportunity, and you can opt out of this, to have a professional instructor drive your car around the track for 3 or 4 laps and kind of show you what it does, but a little bit under the limit, kind of a lot of bit under the limit. But most folks go, holy cow, I had no idea. Well, these guys have been doing it for a long time. I've trained most of them. I work with them all the time. I've been driving with them for a dozen plus years. We have some really good instructors, and they're going to drive you, if you allow them to, in your car where you're riding right seat, and they're going to coach you around as to what they're doing, where they're looking. They're going to give you some tips on where to brake, where to turn. They're basically going to orient you to the track. And this is because after 3 or 4 laps, you're going to pull into the pits, you're going to switch, and they now become your in-car coach, your in-car instructor. And those things they just did and showed you are the things they're going to ask you to do and coach you to do, so you can stretch the legs of your car. You can open that baby up. I mean, telling you, those Supras are fantastic. The gearbox is wonderful. And don't be surprised if you easily find yourself going safely over 100 miles an hour. Some of you may be upwards to 120, but you're entirely up to that. If you want to go 60, you can go 60. If you want to go almost as fast as your car will go, your instructor is going to help you do that with some safety always in mind. So there you go. That's the program. We'll you don't have to commit to the in-car instructor right now. If you don't want an in-car instructor at the end of the day, you can go into the more reserved, slower paced lead follow. But an in-car instructor will get you a much higher speed and a funner experience. So that's it. If you got any questions, please reach out to me. I'll put my contact info below. Call me, email John. We look forward to having you, and I look forward to touching base with you in the very near future, answering any questions you have. I'm Eric Meyer, and on behalf of everybody at NASA Great Lakes Region and the Supra program, thanks very much, and we'll see you soon.